blame my mother. I blame Miss Whitaker. Because every time the Spirit moves me, like, just, it's a waterfall for me. And I just can't help it. I can relate to Jeremiah. You know, Jeremiah had mentioned, like, he's this weeping prophet or something. Gosh, I can relate to him. So I was watching the World Series last night. Do you guys know what the World Series is? Baseball. I was watching the World Series, and it was, I think, around the 4th inning. My wife was watching it with me, and she doesn't do this very often. But it was about the 4th inning, and Los Angeles Dodgers were up the bat. And you know who I'm talking about? Yasiel Puig. Strange name, right? He's from Cuba. He was up the bat, and there was an inside pitch. Sort of brushed him back, and all he did was this. And then he shook his butt a little bit and stepped out, you know, because it wasn't a strike. And my wife said, "Who is this guy?" And I said, that's just him. He's very dramatic, and he just does some crazy stuff. Another instant, when they won their National League championship, there was a person, I should have probably played this, it's so funny. And the interview was happening, everybody's celebrating, you know, champagne thrown all over the place. They filled up a whole trash can of champagne, and they poured it on the announcer's head, drenched it, and he continued to pour the trash can and just put it right over the top of his head. And he just stood there like, that's this guy, okay? Anyway, you guys be ready to catch this, okay? Anyway, the next pitch, he hits a home run, and then he throws his bat, and he's like this. And he starts running around the bases. I mean, it's just excitement. The crowd is going crazy for this dude. It's the 4th inning. Binion Legesse texted me, because he was watching it too. I'm like, why are you watching baseball? You're Ethiopian. But anyway. He texted me, he said, "This is over. I'm going to bed," because it was 4-0. Nobody had scored until that point. Lo and behold, the Dodgers lose 9-6. 9-6. Have you seen this in basketball? Somebody hits a 3. Jacob Peters. You hit a 3. It's the first quarter, and people are doing this. Or they're taking the arrows out and they're shooting arrows. I mean, they're just going crazy. It's the first quarter. It's the first quarter. Just be patient. Let's do that with like 2 seconds to go at the end of the 4th, okay? But anyway, we're talking about perseverance. 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 Don't give up. Don't give up. How appropriate, soccer guys. Don't give up. Don't give up. The definition of perseverance is steady persistence in a course of action, a purpose, a state, etc. Especially, now listen to this, especially in spite of difficulties, obstacles, or discouragement. To persevere. Especially when things get hard, when things are tough. James chapter 1 says this: "Dear brothers and sisters, when trouble of any kind comes your way, consider it an opportunity for great joy." What? When trouble comes, consider it an opportunity for great joy. It doesn't make any sense. When you're down 5-0 and trouble comes, consider it pure joy. The coach would be like, why are you laughing? Why are you happy? This doesn't make any sense. Now listen why. Consider it great joy. For you know that when your faith is tested, your endurance has a chance to grow. When you are tested, your endurance has a chance to grow. So let it grow. For when your endurance is fully developed, you will be perfect and complete, needing nothing. Some of the stuff that Jesus says, or some of the stuff that's in the Bible, it just doesn't make sense. Here's another one. It just doesn't make sense. A little bit further down in James, it says, believers who are poor have something to boast about. What? I can boast because I'm poor? For God has honored them. For God has honored them. When I got married, so this is Beery right here in the front row, I remember this so vividly. We're saying our vows with one another. And this is what she says to me. She says, I want to take you, Josh, to be my wife. I want to take you, Josh, to be my husband, to have and to hold from this day forward, for better, for worse, for richer, for poorer, is what she said. And everybody just started laughing because she got stumbled on that word, poorer, right? Because everybody knew what that meant at Mountain Mission School. Everybody knew. To love and to cherish till death do us part, in sickness and in health, to love and to cherish till death do us part, according to God's holy law. And this is my solemn vow. It doesn't make sense that we are blessed. We are honored if we are poor. Here's some other verses that just don't make sense. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans that give you a hope and a future. That doesn't make sense when things are screwed up all around us, right? When things aren't going our way. How does that make sense? Here's another one. And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love him, who have been called according to his purpose. All things, Lord? Doesn't make sense. I want to go to Luke chapter 14. Here's some other stuff that just like, wow, Lord, really? You sure about this? This isn't a typo, Lord? Chapter 14 of Luke. A large crowd was following Jesus. And he turned around and he said to them, if you want to be my disciple, that's me. I want to be your disciple, Lord. Then you must, by comparison, hate everyone else. Your father, your mother, wife, children, brothers and sisters, yes, even your own life. Otherwise, you cannot be my disciple. And if you do not carry your own cross and follow me, you cannot be my disciple. But don't begin until you count the cost. For who would begin construction of a building, Parker Hall, without first calculating the cost to see if there's enough money to finish it? Otherwise, you might complete only the foundation before running out of money. And then everyone would laugh at you. They would say, there's the person who started the building and couldn't afford to finish it. Or what king would go to war against another king without first sitting down with his counselors to discuss whether the army of 10,000 could defeat the 20,000 soldiers marched against him? And if he can't, he will send a delegation to discuss terms of peace, while the enemy is still far away.
So you cannot be my disciple without giving up everything you own. And he just throws that in there. I mean, I understand, I follow the whole building, right? You count the cost of the building. I follow the king, and he counts the cost of his soldiers versus the other soldiers. But then all of a sudden he throws in this, so you cannot become my disciple without giving up everything you own. Wow, that's hard, Lord. Salt is good for seasoning, but if it loses its flavor, how do you make it salty again? Flavorless salt is good neither for the soil nor the manure pile. It is thrown away. Anyone with ears to hear should listen and understand. Wow, okay. I need to give up everything I own. Everything. I'm on this journey, the spiritual journey, and I'm not there yet. I'm only 38 years old, but maybe I am. Who knows? Nobody knows the end. But every time I listen to something or I read something, I always think of you, and I want to give you what I just received. And there was a podcast. I was just listening to it when I was driving the girls somewhere, and I immediately thought that everybody needs to see this. And so I Googled it, tried to find the sermon, and I found it. And this was the guy I spoke about last time about the power of instead. That's the name of the sermon, Power of Instead. He goes through Isaiah chapter 61 and just talks about how instead of ashes, here's a crown. You know, instead of despair, here's something that God's going to give you. And he talks here about a dream that he had. And I want to share this with you because, man, it sure did open my eyes of the love of Jesus. And I hope it helps you.
Dream a lot, and usually all my dreams usually have some kind of significance. I have the weird kind of, ate too much pizza last thing at night dreams too. But I have other dreams where I really interact with the Lord in those dreams. That's what dreaming really is about. It's about you having experiences and encounters with God in dream form or vision form that enables you to see something about yourself, that when you wake up, you actually know that a door is open for you to step into that place and become that person. So I'm having these series of dreams where I'm in heaven, we're on top of a hill, and I'm in this kind of structure that's just wooden poles and got all these curtains around them, and you can see through the curtain, but people can't see, and it's a weird thing. There's loads of great food and wine. So I'm in this place, I'm waiting, and normally what happens is he comes up the hill and he's laughing and smiling, surrounded by people, kids trying to jump on him, grannies dancing around him, all that kind of stuff, and he's having a dozen conversations at once, and usually looks up, smiles, waves, and I'll be there in a minute, But on this occasion, he's by himself, walking up the hill. In fact, he's not walking up the hill, he's marching up the hill. And he looks annoyed. He looks like he just swallowed a wasp. He's marching up the hill, he's glaring at me, and the closer he's getting, it's like I start moving back until I feel the curtain behind me, and I'm thinking, never seen him like this, and I'm kind of like, I'm worried. He's marching up, marches straight into the thing, marches right up to me, stops 4 feet away from me, and he says, "Graham, give me back my stuff." I said, "Excuse me? Give me back my stuff." I don't know what you mean, Lord. "Graham, don't mess around with me. Give me back my stuff." I don't know what you mean. "Yes, you do. Give me back my stuff. I want it, and I want it right now. Right now." "But Lord, I'm starting to sweat. Lord, honestly, everything I've got you gave me, that part of that is true, but you took some stuff that belongs to me that I don't want you to have. Give it back. But I'm thinking, all the gifts he's given me, I don't know what you mean, Lord. And he looks at me and said, okay, this is the last time. Graham, give me back my stuff. I'm on my knees, I'm crying. Lord, I don't know what you mean. I don't know what you mean. That worry, that anger, that resentment, that bitterness, that fear. I died for it. I paid a price for it. It belongs to me. It doesn't belong to you. Give me back my stuff.